Alright, hello everyone. Alright, we're gonna be playing some Prism today against my better judgment. Uh, Normally, I think I try to start out streams just by like going mid-game, so that's what we're gonna do. But we'll do the deck tech after the first game. So let's see how it goes. This was actually a voted deck in the Discord. We actually just recently made a Discord. So this is what the people voted for. Alright, playing against Riptide. Probably... I just want to go first. I think this is probably still a vested matchup. I know there are some like aggro variants of Riptide. Okay, yeah, I think that's wise. Yeah, I don't think the Riptide matchup is historically very good, so we might see another hero here instead. That's fine though. I need to like kind of pre-board this deck, but I feel like Prism in particular, you have to like switch between the two game plans, right? I don't really have any like sideboards made, so might just have to manual mode it for now. So let me see if I can adjust this keyboard a little bit. There we go. No, not quite. Something like that. A little bit up. Perfect. All right, playing against Kasai. Let's see how this goes. So I feel like this is not... I don't know what Kasai is. Is this a Herald beatdown matchup or is this a Aura matchup? Kind of leaning towards maybe the Auras. Soul Shield seems fine. No, you just run Judgment. I think this seems okay. Shouldn't be any poppers. I guess Stonewall's like maybe reasonable. I'm actually not sure if this is Aura or a beatdown matchup. Alright, starting with the Retribution, we can Arsenal War Tune. Seems pretty good. We also get a nice little gold setup, so can't complain about that. Still need to like fix this camera. This camera is like so temperamental. It's interesting, they're fat decking here. I feel like this is normally not a matchup where you necessarily want a fat deck. Or at least I find it hard to imagine that you'd want a fat deck on the Kasai side. But like there might be some like fatigue plan. Not 100%. Oh, it's aggro game plan into Kasai usually? Well, we're gonna see how the normal game plan goes. Or the sorry, not the normal game plan, the Vestige game plan goes. But I think you probably are right. That like maybe you just want to do beatdown. Alright, hot streak. Don't think we care. I feel like you could probably go either way though. Like, I don't feel like the auras are like all that bad, but it does mean like, obviously like the auras get cleared by like the second swing, right? But yeah, I guess it does kind of make sense that this is more of a just a beatdown matchup. I feel like this is not like I guess the argument against like beatdown is like they block super well, so that feels kind of bad. All right, Saber's coming back in, so they're gonna clear the Merciful. That's fine. Seems good. Yeah, I do think it's probably just like a pretty okay matchup for us. But yeah, maybe the beatdown plane is like slightly more optimal. I feel like I want to try to Arsenal Soul Shield, but the problem is we don't have another yellow in hand, or like we want to play out this War Tune as well. There's also the option of doing like War Tune into Wrath into play Pierce Reality Arsenal Soul Shield. I kind of actually don't mind that. Like we don't need to force this Herald to hit here. I don't think. Like if we just play Pierce on the back end of this, I think I'm also kind of happy with that. Alright, so they have a Deer React here, presumably. I feel like if they're going to let this hit, I'm not going to react. Alright, there's Take It on the Chin, that's fine. So now we can react to the Take It on the Chin. Let's see if they have another react to follow up here. Oh, this is your favorite deck, that makes sense. Yeah, okay, so we got a react out of them. I think that's still very reasonable. Yeah, I don't have necessarily the reps on Prism to know every matchup in and out, but this doesn't seem like that bad of a matchup for us. Alright, spy out the Pierce. And then I think Soul Shield's like still a pretty decent arsenal. They might be incentivized to try to clear the Pierce this turn, in which case we probably want to use Soul Shield just on the first swing. Alright, they're gonna just take the turn and clear Pierce. I think that also makes sense. So I think here play is to just Triumph, Wrath, passing. Still trying to find our like combo cards. We have one Soul, which is good, but no ALS is like a little bit painful. The problem also with like playing out the passing Mirage is that like they might not be on any poppers, so like this could functionally do nothing. If anything, it might be like detrimental because it means they might not like attack into Soul Shield. I feel like these hands have also been like a little bit awkward, just in terms of like we're having like pitch the other Herald a lot of the time. All right, we're gonna go for the Wrath. Could very well have a D-React here though, but we'll force it out. Right, there's another Shelter. That's fine. To me, like I feel like the fatigue angle like actually does kind of make a bit of sense here. I kind of like almost don't want to play out this passing because I don't want them to try to like take a turn off and clear it and not attack into Soul Shield. I think this is still fine. Alright, lots of Figments. There is like some merit to just like hard casting a Figment, especially if they're not putting on a ton of like life total pressure into us. But we do have double Herald hand, so we should probably just send it. Amulet of Echoes. Interesting. I mean, I'm assuming this is like a Cilio tech, but could potentially be relevant into us, kind of. Not really. It's a little suspect. I guess we can't play like two War Tunes on the same turn, but I don't know if this is necessarily the Prism tech that is I guess popular. Okay, Flutter Hands, that's fine. Alright, so it looks like we're just swinging at us. I don't think we have any reason to block. We will give him a gold, but I don't think that's worth giving up a Herald in hand. Could also Soul Shield if they opt to like pump. Yeah, playing Auras is always good. Like, I feel like they don't have any poppers in the deck, so like, as long as we like get it on hand, I think that's fine. All right, just coming in with the Glint. I feel like we still don't care about this. Like, I kind of just want to sit on the Soul Shield for a little bit. I just like I equal parts like want to play the Soul Shield and also want to like sit on it. Like sitting on it for this long does feel a bit bad, but they haven't really presented anything that's like worth covering. Alright, so clearing the passing, that's fine. I'm kind of almost glad they cleared the passing there. But yeah, double Herald seems pretty alright here. At least we can force cards out of hand. Yeah, I don't think we need the shield there. Alright, they do have Nourishing, but this is still fine because we can just pay. So they are running probably at least one or two more of these. So maybe this is why the beatdown plane is like a little bit better, just in case they're trying to kind of play towards a more like fatigue endgame. We got plenty of time though. They're really not pressuring the life total very much. Raise an army out of the way. That's also fine. I'm curious if this Amulet of Echoes will actually do anything in this game. I'm not fully convinced, but it is kind of menacing at least. Okay. This seems more just like we want to set up an aura. That's what this hand is kind of telling me. I feel like we might want to use Soul Shield maybe on the second attack here and then just like slam Aura next turn. We also have Light of Soul to potentially pump. So they're not reacting this. Part of me almost wants to just like play out the Soul Shield here. It's kind of tempting. I think that's like not necessary though. We could also like just IP, like we could Herald, try and pitch Light of Soul, IP with the Merciful, or also I guess we could Herald of Triumph, Light of Soul, and then if we hit something off the top, we can Merciful. So we were still not supposed to Soul Shield. I really want to get this out of Arsenal, but like, just really not a great excuse to. Yeah, that makes sense for the beatdown plan, I think. They're really, like, I guess, like, Kasai a lot of the time, does she have, like, ways to really threaten a ton of damage on the first sword? I feel like a lot of her stuff is, like, predicated on swinging damage on the second sword. Like, Blade Runner, for instance, what's another card called? Angelic Wrath can go into Soul, that's fine. So this will actually turn on Merciful, right? Because we have Vestige. Like, if cards, yeah. So that's pretty good. So now we also have the option to just play out the Merciful in the turn. Yeah, that was a pretty nice hit. I think if we didn't hit there, we're still just like IPing with Merciful, which feels pretty bad. Alright, there's the Fate. Pretty good. So we could go for the Angelic here, but I almost think it's just higher value to play out the second Merciful, so we're sort of building up Soul. The problem is we're not getting the Figments online. But I think it's still probably just worth it to play out Merciful end of turn. It'll probably at least soak up a bit of damage. I think there is like maybe an argument to Wrath there. Like Wrath, I feel like just like kind of gets super punished by another D-React, which we know that they have at least a couple, like they're on Fates and Shelters. I actually don't know what Kasai really looks like nowadays. Are they also running Sinks? Because that's a pretty decent number of D-Reacts. Yeah, at some point we'll get the Figments online. Okay, so like Unsheathed and Spoils, I guess, are like the main ways they can like pump on the first swing. That makes sense. So here we can actually Soul Shield plus Stonewall Gauntlet if we want. I don't think that's bad just to deny copper. Kinda don't mind that. They can obviously like close chain here and then like just hot streak. Wonder if this is like a low value Stonewall. It's probably like fine enough though. The funny thing is we can also play a Genesis end of turn, right? Because we have the blue plus Soul Shield. Soul Shield goes to Soul. I think this makes sense. Like the only thing I'm like questioning is whether or not this Stonewall is actually worth playing, like worth using here. And I feel like it's worth it just for the extra like copper denial. Like, if we deny 2 copper off this, I think that's maybe an okay trade. I assume they're probably just going to clear Merciful into turn here. So I guess we also had... Oh, no, they're going to attack face. Okay. Very interesting. Maybe they didn't want to give the Merciful Retribution. There is also some merit to, like, sitting on the Genesis. Like, to wait for, like, a pop-off turn. But we do have 2 more still in the deck. So I don't know if we're in a super big rush to, like, play out... They also could be trying to leave the Merciful alive. That's also another consideration. I guess my question is, like, is it worth it to try to sit on this to combo? I don't know if we need it for the first one. Like, we have 2 more in the deck. In general, we want to try to play it on the, on, like, the ALS turn if we can. But it seems like they might just be leaving the Merciful alive just so that, like, we can't, like, fully loop. But I think I'm still fine playing it out here. Yeah, I think that's also like a good point. We don't have ALS yet, so like I don't think there's really a strong incentive to like sit on the Genesis. Like we're pretty far off from comboing. We don't have any Figments set up. Passing is interesting. We're just playing it out. I don't really want Arsenal passing. Plus it might just soak some damage, or it might just send some damage from the Merciful and yada yada. Alright, we found our ALS. So that's good. You also have 2 blues if we want to just get in the bin, but the problem is the Merciful is still around. So you might actually just be sitting on this Arclight for a bit until they decide to clear Merciful, or they decide not to clear Merciful. Yeah, we're playing the passing 100% there, I think. Like, Arsenal passing is just, like, terrible. This hand's pretty good. The only problem is just, like, the Merciful being out. Like, if they clear the Merciful, then obviously the Arclight going to grave is a lot better. But most likely this turn, I feel like they do have to try to clear the Genesis. If they don't clear Genesis, we can one card ALS. Sorry, how are we one card ALSing? Are we doing that off gold, maybe? Like, obviously we can like just pitch our cards to do that, right? But I'm not sure we're getting the one card ALS. Where's that coming from? I'm curious. I think this is like still a pretty solid hand though. How many Heralds, I guess, is this deck running? So I stole this list from the I think Battleheart Copenhagen. I didn't choose. I guess I didn't like single this list out in particular. It just seemed like kind of stock standard Prism. Pitch blue ALS, so it's basically one card pitch. Oh, okay, yeah. So it involves making the gold. That makes sense. Yep. But yeah, this seems like a pretty stock standard Prism list. Let's actually go back to the game. I think they're still hanging out here. Oh no. Talishar issue? Hope not. Maybe make sure the internet didn't die. I assume I'm still streaming, right? Technical difficulties, I guess. I go back to the lobby. Sometimes this does it for me. If you ever get disconnected from Talishar game, sometimes trying the lobby link will put you back in. But yeah, the gold, activating the gold there for ALS, assuming we draw blue off the top, that would mean we one card ALS. Yeah, I'm still streaming, so that's kind of weird. Let me make sure there's nothing on the Talishar Discord going on. Let's see. Bug reports? Any bugs? Maybe not. Yeah, that's true. We also had 2 blues already in hand, so we can hit ALS whenever. This game might be a wash. Assuming we can't get back into it. Let me check, like, just the Talishar lobby in general. See if there's any issues. Seems a little sluggish. Yeah, might be having some technical difficulties here. Yeah, it seems like other people are maybe seeing the crash too. Oh no. Little network error there. Unfortunate. Well, that's actually kind of good to know for the Kasai matchup into Warriors that you want to try to go for beatdown. It's kind of interesting that they were trying to, seems almost like they were trying to go for fatigue maybe. Like they're presenting like 67 cards. Well, I guess now is a good time as any to do the deck tech. So this is from Elaine from the Battleheart in Copenhagen. I think, I'm not entirely sure how to pronounce the last name, but my best effort look up on Google was Saul. So Elaine Cao from Battleheart in Copenhagen. And this kind of looks just like a pretty decent Prism list. I don't exactly, I think they were like top 8 at the Battleheart with it. And I don't think there's anything like super spicy in this Prism list, which is kind of why I chose it. Like I think that a lot of the ideas here are at least pretty reminiscent of where I last kind of left off in my Prism journey, which is like, I think I played it at like Armory a couple months ago. But yeah, this seems like a pretty solid list, just kind of nothing super remarkable on this list. I think like the Valigots are the card I think I like the most. I think Valigot was also around when I was playing Prism, just for the obvious like 3 block value. Getting a draw card is also nice. I think this helps a lot with like the Cinder matchup, which is like a lot more close than I think you might think it is. Oh yeah, shout out to Elaine. Yeah, I think I don't think I met her in person, but yeah, like this deck list just seems really good, so I wanted to kind of try it out. I think this was like a couple months ago, but yeah, this list seems pretty good. So yeah, we're gonna try it out. I don't know when Talishar is gonna come back. We're gonna see, but normally it takes about like 10 or so minutes. Yeah, but until then, I think we'll just hang out. Oh no, the Kasai was actually the person who first reported the thing in Discord. That's funny. That's kind of hilarious. Yeah, but anyways, I wanted to try this list out today. Let's actually maybe just like while we're kind of waiting for Talishar to recover, let's actually maybe take a look at some of the spoiler stuff. So some of you all might have seen our spoiler. Let me see if I can find it. Oh, can't search on the page. Hold on. Where is it? Cheap Shop. There we are. This is our spoiler. So pretty awesome card. I don't actually know if this is going to be like a constructed staple of like Reviled. Like, I don't know. This card is really funny. Like, I think it's kind of like a reckless swing almost. Like yellow 2 blocks, obviously, like a little bit rough. But there is kind of like an interesting thing here. I guess the only question I have is like whether or not you can be booed on your opponent's turn versus like your turn. I think you can only be booed on your turn, right? So this is not really like the reckless swing that I think I was envisioning when I first like started seeing the cards, which is kind of funny. Yeah, the Prism spoiler card, that's actually kind of part of one of the reasons why I wanted to try to play some Prism. So that's Angelic Attendant here. So awaken target figment you control, put this into your soul. So basically it's kind of like a buff at least to the Aura game plan, which is kind of neat. I think this card seems at least really solid. I don't know if it's going to be like a 3 of auto include, but it seems at least at the bare minimum, like this seems like maybe like a 2 of to like slot in during like the Aura plan. You can be booed during your opponent's turn. Oh, really? Interesting. Let me see. I don't know if I can actually like search by boo. I don't think that works. Yeah, but anyways, that card's really cool. I'm also really excited about Catch of the Day. So this is a card. This card's really nice for Marlin, I think. Just being a 0 for 2 buff is really, really sweet. Being a blue 3 block's also insane. I think this is like an auto include in kind of like the Marlin list that I've been running, like the kind of like more pump focused Marlin list, because it's also just like at its floor, another pump that's also a blue 3 block. Like the opportunity of the card, the opportunity cost of this card is I think really, really low. So I think this card's awesome. Laius ability boos you at instant speed. Does it boo your opponent though? Interesting. Yeah. Also, Battlefield Beacon, another pretty sweet card. I've been hearing a lot of murmurs and from some of our, I guess, Bolton fans on this one. I think this card is kind of like another NIMBY almost, but it's a lot more conditional. I think this card is like, this card is a card that almost seems like a little bit of a trap to me, just because it like could be a lot worse. But yeah, I think that like the floor of this card's quite bad, right? Like let's just assume you only get like one mode that's like a 0 for 4 yellow, which is like kind of whatever, especially in Bolton. And also not having it on hit's pretty rough. But if you get like 2 or 3, I think that's when the value of this card really shines. So it's like how often are you going to be able to do that? That's anyone's kind of guess, but I think that card's also pretty sweet. Let's see. Let's do a quick Talishar check. It seems like we're still a little bit cooked. But yeah, I think the Super Slam spoilers seem really good. We also saw, I think, the Katsu card today. So this card's like interesting to me. I don't know about this card. Maybe it's like a 2 of or something, but so like I'm kind of taking this from a perspective of I guess the more what do you call it? Like the Edge of Autumn Katsu that's been a lot more popular recently. So this card basically forces you to kind of like Edge of Autumn into Surging Strike into this, I think is like how they want you to play it. So it's kind of interesting. Why would it matter if it boos your opponent? Sorry, what do you mean? But But anyways, I think this card's like interesting. The only problem with this card is that if you like do a surging off of what do you call it? If you do like a surging off of the what's the card called? Heart and Cross Trap, right? And then you don't have like the resources for like Edge of Autumn, then I think this card gets a lot worse. So like it's kind of interesting. Like the cost of this card is very, it's very weird to me. Like you're getting a 0 for 5, obviously, but there's like a downside that you might not get the go again, which is a little bit awkward. Yeah, I think they're going for edge surging gust wave bonds, and yeah, I think that that's exactly what they're going for. I guess the question is like whether or not that's like worth the potential risk of you like playing Heart and Cross Trap, surging strike, and then like not hitting. The Gogan is only conditional upon it being chain link 3 or higher, so it's solid off Ancestral Harmony. Yeah, that could also be the case. Like if you hit it off Ancestral, then you have like a blue, then you can like play it on stuff. I think that's interesting. Oh yeah, I guess you can also make it like a 0 for 3 go again if you didn't play Surging Strike. That's also kind of like an interesting mode. Yeah, I think this card's like kind of neat. I just don't know if it's necessarily like super high power, but I don't know if like Katsu necessarily needs anything that's like super high power. Oh hey Alex, how's it going? We were playing Prism, but there's been a little Talishar error. Might be coming back. Might be coming back. But yeah, we're gonna try to play some Prism. This is from Elaine's list. Let me go ahead and pull that up. So that was this list. This is from Battle Art Copenhagen, and just seemed like a very solid Prism list, so I want to give it a try today. We're in a game with Kasai, which I don't know if that game was going to be good for us. I think we boarded wrong. Yeah, Telechart definitely seems a little bit down. But we're going to make do with what we got. So in the meantime, while Telechart is down, we're going to do mini set review, I guess, because there's nothing else to do and we need some content, right? Okay, let's take a look at some of the interesting cards. So we also saw, I think, Cries of Encore this week. This card seems really good. It's kind of funny because this card can like kind of do an infinite loop with what is that other card? There's another Up on a Pedestal, I think is the one. So you can play Cries of Encore. If it hits, then you can like put Up on a Pedestal on top, and then you can like use Up on a Pedestal to like put the Cries of Encore back, which is kind of neat. I think we were doing pretty all right for being on the wrong plan. Yeah, like we didn't have any figments out. So I definitely think we probably should have been on the beatdown plan, but that's also just like me not playing the deck. Oh, Kevin thinks the Aura plan is better. Okay, interesting. Might be a little debate going on in the chat. Okay. I think you could probably swing both. Like I can see both, to be honest. Like that's why I wasn't sure when I like first poured it in, but like that makes a lot of sense. What other cards have kind of interested me? I think the charms make a lot more sense now. Like I think these are going to be like pretty solid, even in just like constructed. So you control attack with 6 or more power, deal 2 damage unless they discard a card. So this is almost like the cheap shot on a stick, right? That's pretty sweet. Yeah, I also love the Aurora plan. I'm kind of partial to it. I miss Tome of Divinity. That card was stupid. Oh, this is like the young art for Lyeth. I don't think I've ever seen this. Wow, he's got like a lion and everything. That's crazy. Yeah, but I'm excited for the set. This set seems really cool. I think we're still. How many cards are we missing? I think there's a way to show the placeholders, right? So we're missing just a handful, like here and there. So like, I feel like we have a decent amount of the set. Seems pretty good. You missed Tome too? Me too. Yeah. I think everyone misses Tome. Oh, this card. This card is awesome. When this defends, you look at the top card of your deck and choose a color. If you do the attacking hero, like this is basically just like a bluffing card, which is sick. I love this card. This card's awesome. Also, sick art from Carlos as always. But yeah, that card's really cool. Leave them hanging, I think we also saw. So like Guardian Intimidate's also really nasty. So I think there are a lot of like fun little mechanics in the set. I'm pretty excited. What other cards do we see recently? We saw the Reckless Stampede. I think this was Lupine spoiler, right? So whenever a card defends this, clash with defending hero, the winner deals 1 damage to the other hero. Each hero may put their reveal card on the bottom of its owner's deck. Yeah, very interesting. And it's 2 for 7, which is also quite nice. Yeah, that's true. No one misses playing against Tome. I think it also might be dependent on the Kasai list, maybe. Like, I think they're both like really close. Like the Kasai we played into last game, they were trying to go for like a more fatigue plan, which is kind of interesting. But yeah, I'm not sure. Like, if they're going more aggro, maybe the Herald beatdown is like a little bit better. I'm not sure. I don't really know the complexities of the Kasai Prism matchup, but that's an interesting thought. KO's gotten some serious upgrades this set. Are you talking about base KO or just like the new KO? I think both have gotten some pretty good upgrades. Like I think we saw Show of Strength, which is just another 2 for 8 functionally. Against some heroes, maybe it's a little bit worse, but like against a lot of heroes, it's functionally just a 2 for 8. So that's pretty sick. We also saw Smashing Ground, so I think this is probably like an auto include in the blue slot for KO, just being like a blue 5 power CNC. Also really good. I've seen some people like experiment with Song of Sinew for KO on Talshar. Like I think this is taking the place maybe of Cast Bones. This card's interesting to me. I don't know how good this card is, but like the time I played into it, the KO hit like KO played 3 of these, hit on all 3 of these, and like basically got 12 value out of 3 cards, which is quite nice. So I say this is pretty good. Yeah, I think this card is very, very good. Like this card is deceptively good. You wouldn't think this card is like as good as it is, but it's a 0 for 4 go again in Brute that's also yellow, which I think is really interesting. What else we got? We also saw some of the new Aura spoil. Those are pretty cool. Beat of the Iron Song is another one. I don't know how good this card is in particular. Like it seems like the Dawnblade players are saying it's not as good as it seems, but it's maybe just an auto include just because you get the +1 and go again modes. The fact that you can put those cards back in anywhere, yes, that's also I think another big draw. You also get to reorder the cards off Song of Sinew, so yeah, that's pretty neat. What other cards? We also saw some like Brute on Brute hate, which is kind of interesting. You know, also like adjust this camera like a little bit, or sorry, this light. Give me 1 second. Oh wait, I'm still like kind of artifacting down there. Hold on. Let's do a little bit of filter correction while we're waiting. Where's the filter mode on this? Hold on a second. All right, filters. Found it. Let's add the filter. Let me just turn that up a little bit. Say better? No, still worse. But yeah, I think this card's pretty interesting. Like, if there ever is like a anti-brute card, I don't know. This card's at least like conceptually quite cool. I mean, it's a super rare, so like the effect kind of makes sense to be specific. Let me actually maybe just like crop myself. Doing some OBS editing live. Yeah, that's probably good enough. Let me actually get rid of this bar. Maybe that will make it a little bit better. No Tall Tales. This card's also. I think there's this card and Cut a Long Story Short are basically like kind of like the same stat line. So we get a 0 for 3 yellow that also gets buffed by 1 if it's power. So it's basically 0 for 4 yellow, and then also has the Tower ability on it, which is really interesting. And I think this also synergizes with the Confidence tokens, right? So Confidence is at the start of your turn, destroy this, then the next attack action card you play this turn can't be defended by more than 2 non-block cards. It's really interesting. So if you can like line up the Confidence with the like these effects, or actually it might even be better in like Lyeth, or like maybe this is supposed to be like a Lyeth card. I'm not sure if it's Lyeth or I feel like you could probably also make the argument you play this in Pleiades, right? But yeah, maybe it's for both. But I think this card's really interesting. Oh, we got the new Earth Aura spoiled, the Tranquil Domain one. I think we maybe saw that in a leak or something. But yeah, that one also seems really cool. All right, let's see if Talshar is back. Oh, we're back. Yay. All right, but that was my mini set review. I think that overall, I'd say there are a lot of interesting cards in the set. Still have obviously more to see, but I don't know. I'm pretty excited about the set. There's a lot of, it seems like, weird, interesting mechanics. So I'm kind of curious how a lot of this will shake out. Like, it doesn't feel like heavy hitters in the sense that, like, you had Wager, you had Clash, and what was the other mechanic in heavy hitters? there's like the might, agility, whatever tokens. It feels like there's a lot more complexity here, and I think obviously like the super rares also have like really interesting effects. Like I don't know, there's a lot of like I feel like there's a lot more like stuff going on in the set than like heavy, for instance, right? Where like heavy I think was a lot more simpler. It seems like there's a lot more like niche interactions in the set, which I'm kind of excited about. So yeah, I'd say I'm pretty excited about like at least the limited aspect and maybe even like a lot of the constructed implications of the set. All right, well, let's get back to the prisming. So let's grab our deck list. So I think we'll do the deck mini deck tech for the people who are just joining in. So this is from Elaine Cao from Valhar in Copenhagen. Again, sorry if I'm pronouncing the name wrong. But this is just a pretty solid prism list. I think it made top 8 of Valhar in Copenhagen, which is quite nice. And then seems like for the most part pretty stock standard prism stuff. Like there's nothing super surprising to me here. I kind of just grabbed it because this prism list I think was like fairly recent. Like I think sometime maybe in August, I think. And yeah, it seemed pretty up to date. Like nothing super like surprising or weird in this list. So kind of want to just give it a spin. I'd say like this is pretty similar to what I would probably build as if I was to like take Prism and like try to go to an armory right now. So yeah, like this list a lot. Let's go ahead and give it another shot. Not play against the Riptide because Carrie's in the chat. I think that would be a little bit offensive. All right, playing against Verdance. I don't know if they're gonna actually stick around, but I think this is just Aura plan all day, right? Don't even know if we necessarily need the Soul Shields, but I guess we can run them and just run Judgment. Yeah, Auras for sure. And then definitely want AB, right? Yep, AB, and then Vestige. Yep, seems good. Yeah, stream just started. We originally were trying to play a game against Kasai. Hello. But I think the Talishar kind of like crapped out a little bit. So yeah, we're back. I am also understanding that this is a pretty good matchup as well. Might also be a good opportunity to slam the Arclight here on turn 1. Would not be opposed to that. All right, just a Burn Bear. All right, KB0. Let's also turn off the Halo for now. And I'd say we're off to a pretty decent start. Is this open queue? I think I just like clicked construct it or like I'm not sure which I did. To be honest, I don't even know if there's a way to check once you're in a game. But this hand's nice. Let's go ahead and fill some soul. Also get a gold. I feel like I don't want Ravages in my soul, right? It's obviously kind of nice, but I think that's... I mean, we wouldn't draw it. I feel like the answer to that is no, right? Almost certainly no. Yeah, the 3 Fable deck is quite nice. Yeah, it does seem like they're running a decent number more poppers, and also the burn bears are quite nice. Like we already saw the fruits plus the burn bear, both of which I think are quite nice. Like pretty good, efficient poppers. But I do think our start's pretty good here. Just get to set up a gold and then double swing. So I'd say this isn't looking too bad. I also can't complain about seeing both of our Fables in the top cards. I'm also wondering if I should have put the Ravages there. I feel like that's probably not worth it though. Like the only bad thing about that is like we have to draw next turn, but we're also sitting on Arclight, so that's fine. I don't know. And it works out here. Like we can just use it for pitch. And then they're just gonna Summerswell, that's also fine. So we get the ALS in the graveyard, so first step accomplished. We also have a lot of armor out of the way. So I'd say this isn't looking too bad, and we also can play around a popper here. So let's see. Burn. I don't think I've played Prism against like Burn Bear. So do I get the opportunity of Phantasmal Footsteps the Burn Bear? Yes, because it's getting destroyed, right? I feel like I've not played Prism in like a very long time. No, we didn't have a Herald on top. We had the Ravages on top for the Light of Soul. So I think, yeah. Yeah, I think like maybe that's not worth it to like put the Ravages. But here we get Figment, or we get one of our Figments online, which is nice. I think we're just getting Erudition because we want to get an Arsenal here. Yeah, I think like there's maybe an argument to putting the Ravages into Soul there, but like feels pretty bad, and like then you're losing out on some of your like late game potential with Ravages. Alright, seems like we're just gonna go for the pulsing here. Do have a Genesis. We can't play that out like super efficiently here. We could honestly just like slam the Merciful if we wanted to ping him for one, but I don't think that's worth like super high value either. What do I want to do here? Okay, I'm just taking this damage. We could slam the Genesis and put stuff into Soul, but I think that's even like super clunky. Like I almost want to just Triumph and then like Wrath it, or we can also like double pitch to Merciful. Yeah, I think it's Herald plus Wrath or something like that. Like we can also just play out the Herald, and then like if they like go for the cover on the Wrath, then we can just like slam the Merciful, but then we're pitching the Genesis, which also feels like a bit bad. Alright, assuming a D-React here. Alright, got the Root Bound. That's fine. So I think we will go for the Wrath here, because that would force another card out of hand. It does mean that we're still like IP1ing. I think this is still fine. Alright, using the Shelter here. I think that's like kind of okay for us. Like not great, because now we are just like sitting on both of these, but I think this more so than anything buys us a little bit of time. If you have no gold, reds in deck, break gold, play Merciful. But a card hasn't gotten his Soul yet, so we couldn't play out the Merciful, right? I think. Alright, it seems like they're gonna refresh here. Okay, what do we want to do? I think we're just slamming the Genesis here. Does that make sense? I actually don't think it does. Maybe we just go for Rebirth, Wrath, play Pierce. Maybe that's a better play. It does open us up to getting popped is the only problem. But I guess if we're getting popped, then we can also just like slam the Merciful. So I think this works. Pitching the Genesis feels rough. Alright, we're definitely going for Wrath here. Force him to have another D-React. Alright, no D-React is great. We can now put Triumph on top, which is also nice. Play Merciful, Pierce, Arsenal, Genesis. Interesting. Let's go ahead and get... What do we want here? I do want to get Rebirth online, but we still are kind of a ways off of like the Arclight loop. It's also maybe an argument to just like Judgmenting down a Summer's Fall or something. Or you just get War just for the Courage. I think those are all reasonable. I think I kind of just like getting the War and then just slamming Pierce and just forcing them to deal with it. Yeah, sorry if I'm not playing Prism to the utmost optimality. This is more so just for my practice in case I want to play it during like ProQuest or whatever. Alright, we got the Rampant Growth. Sure. And then also following up the value. Okay, just getting an extra point of value there, that makes sense. And then are they targeting me? They are targeting me. This is fine though. Like they're just gonna die to Pierce Reality probably, right? So I'd say I'm kind of okay with this. That being said, we could theoretically block if we wanted to. Let's go and bottom. I almost don't want to like Herald. I kind of want to just like slam Merciful Arsenal Herald. I feel like that might be like a more punishing play than just sending like Herald for 9 or whatever. Yeah, we are losing quite a bit of life here. That's the only thing I'm a little concerned about. Like, if they just start ignoring the merciful, that could get a little bit scary. Interesting. I think let's still play it out, though. They might try to, like, aggro us down here, which is, like, a little bit suspect. Very much, I think, depends on what they have, though. And we still have, like, a bit of soul buffer that we can start converting next turn. Alright, we got the burn bear going off. So this is kind of a scary spot to be in. Alright, we'll take our damage. But yeah, now we are kind of in Stormstrider's range. They are pitching 2 D-Rex, though. I don't think this is actually that bad. Because now we can, like... So they tapped out of resources, right? We go to 5. Now, end of turn, we can flip Erudition. I don't think this is bad, is it? So we flip Erudition. Then we have Halo plus another Figment flip on our turn. I think this is okay, right? Alright, let's pitch this, banish the protection, flip the Erudition. I think we're still kind of okay. They would need to have like a Burn Bear or some other card to like threaten the Angel here. So now we can start by Soraying, pitching Rebirth. And then we'll force the action. We can then Halo. I think this is actually kind of okay. They need to draw pretty well here, I'd say, to have a chance to actually kind of get us here. So banish a card from Skull, draw up a little bit. We always have the Angel flip available as well. And then we can just slam the Arclight. It actually might be beneficial here to activate Halo so that we can try to go for like Erudition plus Arclight. I think that might also be pretty decent. I kind of like that play. This also will turn on our Vestige so we get a couple more resources. And then we also have our gold available. Let's try this. I might be getting a little too cute here, but I think this is still reasonable. All right, draw the Figment of Protection. I think we actually kind of wanted that one. Now I guess we can get Rebirth. Put Ravages back on top. It's probably fine. So we know we're drawing into the Ravages. I guess we maybe shouldn't have put it on top, right? Because then we wanted to draw maybe a blue there. Yeah, I definitely think it's Halo turn. I guess maybe there's consideration to Haloing first before we Soraya it, so we have like extra resources. But here I think it's fine to maybe just go for Erudition. Or no, do we want to, we maybe want to ALS. So actually we should start with the War Tune first. So I think War Tune makes the most amount of sense so that we're still holding up 6 for this. Merciful Pop would also put it, yeah, that's also true. For sure, for sure. Let's get what here? We get Judgment and try to put them off Earth. But like they have as much decompose as they want, so I feel like that's low value. Guess we can just get the Ravages here. Part of me almost doesn't want to ALS here. Yeah, one resource 9 Gogan's pretty good. Like okay, so I think I'm actually not supposed to ALS here. I feel like I'm actually supposed to just Erudition. Because then we can just hold, like, I think we are far enough ahead on board that we don't need to worry about, like, ALS. Like, if they take a turn off to clear Soraya, I think we're happy with that. Yeah, I think we just Herald of Erudition first. And then we're holding this up in case they try to go for, like, the kill with, like, Stormstriders or whatever. Alright, so we're popping this. That's fine. So yeah, we don't even need to pay for this. It's just okay. I think there was a way that we get one extra resource here. I guess we might as well just turn over an Earth card. Don't think it really matters. There was a way that we get an extra resources turn by activating Halo first, I think. So that might have let us hold open the flip here, and then we'll not gain an extra point. So we could have theoretically like held open the flip if we wanted to. So that might have been a small punt. All right, Arcane Twining, so just going to go for... Still have the Soraya up. The only problem is we don't have the AB for this. Oh no, we can Calming Gesture, right? No. No, we can't. We can't Calming Gesture. Might be dead here. The only problem is that they're going to be presenting... I mean, I guess we still have to, like, force them to kill Soraya. It's, like, so awkward, though. I guess we can still, like, Angel Flip. So, like, we can't prevent this Waning Moon, right? There's no way to prevent it. So I guess we can just, like, flip at end of their turn so they can't threaten us with Storm Striders. So, not AB. And then we'll flip, like, it's the right one to flip here. Probably just Ravages, right? I want to make sure I think we're holding up the ward in case they try to go for kill. We want to flip before to hold Soraya open. Ooh, that might have been better. Yeah, that actually might have been better. If we flip before, then we have Soraya instead of the Sekhem. Yeah, that makes more sense. Let's go for, I guess, the Ravages here first. So that was a little pun on my part. I think that's definitely a lot better. Yeah, if we flip before, we get to basically trade. Or like we instead have Soraya here instead of Sekhem. Alright, just going for Emeritus here, but we can still threaten the flip. But the problem is then they Waning Moon. Yeah, I think it's a little bit of a punt on my part. That's fine though. Shaking up the rust. Alright, so Waning Moon. We'll let this eat it. And then we'll flip in response to the Emeritus. I guess we don't even have to necessarily unless they pump with the Metacarpus. Yeah, we definitely punted this game. I think that if we hold open the Erudition... Well, I mean, even if we hold open the Erudition, we don't get to draw the 2 cards, right? We get to pay for the cost. But even then, we're still kind of in range. I feel like we maybe just got too low, and maybe that was our issue. Like, maybe we're supposed to take a turn off on the turn that they fellinged. So here... I don't think it matters, right? I think we're just, like, pretty dead. So we can now do what? Pass, I think. Yeah, so I don't think, like, we obviously could have held Soraya there, but I think we were actually just too low, right? Because we don't get to draw the cards there. I mean, for what it's worth, they also don't have Storm Striders. But they might just kill us on the back of the Scour. I guess they can only Scour for 1, though. We're still not living this. I feel like maybe there's also a punt where we drew that protection that 1 turn. I feel like that also would have been pretty alright. I think we're just like dead here, right? I mean, I guess we can like try to AB, but I think they just Waning Moon and kill us, right? I guess we could technically flip. Sorry. Yeah, I guess we should technically try to stay alive. Or we'll flip. Or, we need to wait for them to do something. Sorry. Alright, wait for them to do something. So yeah, we flip here, I guess, just to stay alive, but not great. So this keeps us alive, but not really. What are we doing here? I guess we can, like, flip, play library, but that doesn't do anything. I think it's just a bad hand, honestly. Guess we'll still just like get the word online, right? I think we're dying a slow death here. Break gold, hope to draw yellow. That might have been better. We pitch merciful, draw yellow. Yeah, that would have let us play out the library. All right, we're punting all over the place, but that's fine. I think we're still like, even if we play out the library, I think we're still like kind of dead. I guess we would have drawn the yellow though. Yeah, I feel like felling will probably do it. All right, that wasn't a very good first game, but we'll try to get a better game on the next one. Because now I think we're like actually pretty dead. I think I'm gonna go ahead and scoop this one up. We'll bottom light Soul. I think that's fine. Like I think we could still technically live here, like if we like Phantasmal or whatever, but I think they pretty much got us. So we'll go ahead and I think scoop that one up. I think that was a punt on our part. We had a couple minor punts, I think. I'll give them a good game though. I think that there are a couple opportunities for improvement there. I think that leaving the Soraya would have been better, but I don't think it ended up mattering. Hello, Venus. How are you doing? Let's try another one. I think that we made a couple punts that game. All right, Leviathan. This is also, I think this is historically not a great matchup. Also, I think we probably want to go first. That's my bad. Let's, I guess, pretend like we lost the die roll. Oh, they wanted to leave. Maybe they also realized it was a good matchup for them. All right, we're gonna run it back on the Verdants. This is a different Verdants. All right, we're getting some Verdants practice. I think that's fine. All right, let's do the Aurora plan. And we want these Soul Shields, and then we want our Vestige. We definitely still want Calming Gesture over Dreamweavers, I think, still. All right, let's see if we can do a little bit better this one. Yeah, historically, this has been definitely a better matchup. Or, like, not a terrible matchup, but I think that Verdant's lists are running a decent number of poppers, especially with, like, the Burnt Bears and stuff, if you count those. Yeah, we'll try it. Let's try a lock in for this one, see if we can do a little bit better. All right, how are we gonna start off here? This hand's like awkward. We can obviously like Ravages, pitch Light Soul, but then like what are we doing after is the question. Because I don't really want to arsenal this like Figment of Triumph, right? It's kind of like I want to pitch this, but I also want to pitch this just to get it out of my hand. I guess let's just start with the Light Soul, see what happens. Oh yeah, for sure, for sure. I do not necessarily have the practice in this matchup. We have another Ravages on top. I feel like that's not great. I almost wonder if it's better to put that in the Soul, because like we're gonna like draw like a double Figment hand next turn. I'm actually gonna try putting into Soul this time. We'll see if we miss it. It's probably like it sucks to do that, obviously. This is interesting. So Fruits of the Forest. Can't unfortunately play out the Figment of Triumph. So I guess we're just like IPing with the Figment of Triumph, holding on to Ravages. I think that's fine. As we know, we can pitch the Triumph to the Footsteps, right? So that's actually way better. Just to get it in our hand. I think I kind of don't mind actually just like sacking the Ravages there just to get into Soul. Obviously not great, but I think it's better than like IPing with it and then also drawing another Figment on the next turn. I think that's like pretty rough. See what they do here, though. Maybe just feeling a bit of Decompose. I guess this doesn't feel Decompose, though, because it's a block. Maybe just don't want to hold it on hand. That's also fine. All right. Pretty good hand. We got the Arclight online. All right, starting off with the Heartbeat. Seems good. Into the CNC. CNC is rough here. I mean, I guess we can just like lose the Wrath, play out Arclight, Arsenal Rebirth. That's at least the line I see. I feel like there's another line here of like block 6, but then we can't do anything. So I feel like I like just losing the Arsenal. A little bit unfortunate here that I think we're losing the yellow Wrath, but I don't think it's worth just like losing our entire turn next turn. So I think here we're just slamming the Arclight off the 2 blues and then Arsenal Rebirth passing back. Force them to deal with it, and also Verdance typically doesn't use 5-card hands the best. So yeah, this matchup might be one that I need to practice a little bit more. Let's see if we can do better this time. Got Erudition, which is nice. Hopefully not a super big turn from them, although I don't think Verdance typically has the ability to really capitalize on 5-card hands. Like, it looks like they're just going to go for the Felling here. And they don't get to decompose it, which is also quite nice. So I'd say we're in an okay spot here. We get to do a double Herald turn, and then maybe Arsenal the Triumph. So I guess what do we want to start off on here? We probably want to play the Rebirth this turn at some point. I guess we also don't have to. I feel like maybe the best play is to like Triumph first and then Erudition after. I feel like most of their poppers are like 7 power poppers anyways. I mean, we could force this through with the Halo if we wanted to. I feel like we'd almost rather save Halo for a better turn. Like, maybe want to save it for like a pop-off turn if we can. I feel like using Halo here might actually be that good. Let's go ahead and pay to gain the action points. And then the question is, do we want to Erudition or just Rebirth? I honestly think the Rebirth might be better. Because, like, we're not threatening, like, a Wrath or anything, so the Rebirth might force more cards at it. Or, like I feel like they're going to be able to block this pretty easily, and we can't really punish. So maybe arseling this is a little bit better for us. Yeah, it seems like our opponent came prepared. I think there's also like a risk there of haloing where if we halo get Triumph, they just like de-react us anyways, and then we can't punish that. So I think this makes sense. I think if we can just strip cards out of hand, we're pretty happy. All right, Arclight number 2. Just pass. So we can potentially Erudition here plus end the turn on Arclight, but I think we actually maybe want to try to like Arsenal this Arclight for combo. We already have 1 in the bin. We can like sit on 1 in Arsenal. We don't really have like the infrastructure yet to necessarily start comboing. Like, we're only at 1 soul. We have no Figments on board. All right, another popper. That's fine. I think we'll just follow up with the blue prot here. Lots of poppers in this list. I guess you kind of need them. Yeah, I agree. I think you should almost exclusively try to use the Halo on the pivot turn. I think that makes a lot of sense. Like, I think, like, it's just, like, so risky there to try to go for, like, the Figment of Triumph on, what do we have, like, a Herald of Triumph? I think it's pretty, like, low value, especially if we can, like, use it on the combo turn to try to, like, stabilize. All right, we're getting some armor out of the way. I think that's good. Still a little low on life and not able to get our Heralds online, or our Figments online, though. So that's a bit rough. All right, we found all of our Arclights. So imagine here they're just going to go for 2 and 2. Or maybe not even 2 and 2. But that's still fine because we can just like slam an Arclight, Arsenal, another Arclight. So I guess we can just AV1 here. No Spell Void. We should probably just turn this off to begin with. I think Verdance list run 15 or so poppers, most of them being 7 power or more. So yeah, it definitely does feel a bit rough. I think I'm also like not practicing this matchup, so like I don't know if I'm necessarily the best pilot. I played like a decent amount of Prism, at least before Verdance was like super popular though. So I think it's still kind of fine, but I do feel like Verdances are a lot more prepared now. Oh, we find the library though. That's also quite nice. So they're not going to be able to decompose this, which is also really good for us. So next turn we can like rebirth, or actually it's probably better to War Tune in case they go for pop, and then like play out the library, get our 5-card hand. Yeah, this is great for us, I think. Library, pretty sick card. Our nice little triple Fable deck. Alright, so we start on the War Tune in case they go for pop, which it seems like they're representing a decent amount of. And then we can punish with the library, draw 5. Seems pretty good. Alright, it seems like maybe double direct here. Or maybe like a mental block or something. Alright, double direct. That's also fine. Nice turn to try to play out the library, I think. We are dying relatively fast, and like we're not really getting much chip in. But I don't think we're doing that bad now that we found the library. Alright, 5-card hand for potentially the rest of the game. This hand's kind of mid, though. I mean, it's like, okay, I guess. I don't know. This hand's not very exciting. Especially with no figments on the board. They tilling, we go... We're dropping down to 17. Stormstriders is functionally like 7 kill range, so we're basically have like 10 life from this point. So what is next turn? We can like Arclight, play out Pierce, or no. We need to also like find a way to like hitch a yellow for the library. I mean, we could Halo, but like the Halo's like not even good here, right? We like Halo. If we Halo, get Erudition, we have 2 soul. We don't establish the loop. Oh, I like Catch of the Day. I think that card's gonna be really strong. Yeah, at these life totals, I think the library's quite good. This hand's so awkward. I think I'm just supposed to not block, though. I guess what we can do here is we can Triumph. Maybe play out one of these Pierces and then like play an ALS or something. That way we can like land the Pierce on the board. I don't think this is the hand that we want to like combo off of, especially with just like how low our soul is. I guess we don't necessarily need the go again off this, or we can like always get the go again. So maybe like pitching the passing actually makes a fair bit of sense here. This is kind of weird, but I think we're actually supposed to pitch the passing here, because I think we're planning on pitching the Merciful, playing the Pierce here. And then this also opens this up to, if they try to pop, then we don't have to commit the Arclight. We can just slam Merciful, and that's also fine. Alright, double block like this. So, we have all of our Arclights gone, though. I almost wonder if it's just better to Merciful here and then IP with the Pierce. But the Merciful is like so slow. I feel like we need to like not die and maybe just like play out the ALS here. And like I feel like maybe we just want a tempo from this point, because I feel like we're maybe not in a good enough spot to actually try to go for combo. It feels super awkward like playing out this ALS though. Especially with no pigments on the board, I don't think we're actually in that great of a spot. Alright, we do eat another Felling though, so I think that's kind of okay. Alright, this turn feels like we just like cannot really push through. Alright, another tilling. We could try to go for the Halo here. Like, if we're not Haloing, we're actually just, like, IPing ourselves. So we probably just have to at this point, right? I think this sucks, but, like, we're just, like, not able to, like, push through, I think, at all. Wait, did I like pass it? Wait. Hold on. What happened? Wait, did I like miss the Sorry, did I like click through this too fast? That was weird. Alright, put a card from hand. Prism. I guess like we just have to do something here. Yeah, it feels like a lot of poppers. Like I think every time we've tried to like send a Herald here, it's just been like pop city. Gain an action point. I guess we can now like play out the passing and now we don't have to commit to the erudition. But it still feels like pretty bad. I guess we draw a 5-card hand. Like maybe I think like what our game plan is here is like maybe we just need to pivot to trying to use the library. This feels awkward. Like obviously we're now kind of at the point where I don't think we can realistically combo. So we need to do this in response to the decompose. So let's do it now. Let's go ahead and play out the Lysol. Or no, actually, probably want to pitch double blue here, right? We pitch double blue so that we can pitch double yellow on our turn. I think that makes sense. So let's go ahead and do this, I think. Wait, do we have a... Oh, they're killing the passing mirage. Okay. I guess this still is fine. We can actually flip the erudition now if we wanted to. Alright, let's get a little bit weird. I think this is fine. Because they can't threaten it now. Why did I grab the erudition there? So I can start trying to apply pressure, I think. That was at least my logic. Not saying that's right. But now we can at least do Soraya on our turn, draw a bunch of cards, and then do some like Herald pressure. I think this is like I think we're past the point where we can like try to actually like combo them with like Arclight Loop. So I think this might be a little bit better. So let's go ahead and put. Probably want to just grab protection, right? Yeah, it's definitely getting a little bit weird. Let's grab protection, I think, just so we have a couple of spectrals to kind of sit on. All right, they are going to go for the Storm Strider. Let's see what they're going to Storm Striders with, though. It's just pulsing. I don't think this does it because we can always flip in response. And we're sitting on the 2 spectrals. So let's see what they do with the Metacarpus now. All right, we're not paying the Metacarpus, so in response to this, we should flip pitching the War Tune. Banishing Triumph, flip Protection. Then we attempt to let the Protection eat this. So maybe 0, let the Ward eat it. You could have grabbed the -1 Figment and grabbed Erudition on hit. Oh, was I... wait, hold on. What was the last turn? We did Protection. Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah, maybe that was a bit better. I guess the only problem with that, though, is if they're sitting on a D-React, then we don't force it through. Still banish a card from Saul here, though. Maybe that was better. But I guess the problem is if we don't force the on-hit here and we don't get Erudition, there's like a risk to that. And it seems like they were sitting on a D-React. I need to remember exactly what that turn was. I feel like a lot of things have happened since then. So now we can follow up with the Erudition. So as long as they don't have a popper here, we're in fine shape. And it looks like maybe just scooped it up. Were they like 40-something? I don't think we... Hold on. How much damage did we actually deal this game? We didn't deal any damage that game when they scooped. It's kind of hilarious. They showed target Soraya. Oh, with the Pulsing Aether? Oh, that's so smart. Yeah, I think you're right. I think they missed the target on the Pulsing Aether. So if that was the case, then yes, they could have absolutely popped. Or they could have absolutely just like ruined our turn there. Alright, punts all around, but that's fine. So kind of curious like how many poppers they're actually running. So we had the Blanches, we had the CNCs, we had the Burn Bears. Those are all normal. So it's just those. I think we just kind of hit a little... Oh, I guess the fruits as well. So we saw think 14 poppers total. That's a lot of poppers. Oh, and I guess the tillings as well. So how many tillings do we see? We also saw Summerfall as well. So we saw 1 tilling, 1 red fruits, 2 tilling, 3 tilling. Yeah, so this is like 17, 18 poppers, something like that. That's a lot of poppers. I mean, it seemed like they were actually like doing quite well until the end there. Like I think if they pulsinged, they actually would have done, or they would have been able to clear Soraya. But I actually don't necessarily blame them for missing the targeted clause there. Like I feel like a lot of these arcane effects like don't have target on them, so kind of makes sense. Like I think like Emeritus doesn't have target. So I think they definitely had play that there if they wanted to go for it. But we did also still have. I guess if they kill Soraya, then we can't do this, right? So yeah, I think maybe a little punt there. But all right, let's try to play against someone who's not Verdance. maybe that. I feel like that matchup is actually like super complicated, or maybe a little bit too complicated for me after coming off of work. Yeah, but that matchup does not seem as free as it once was. I think there was a point in time like maybe like pre-Burn Bear, just where like that matchup you just roll them like 100% of the time. But it feels like maybe it's a little bit harder. All right, Victor is also not as easy as I think it once was. So I think we want to go first into Victor. Let's grab. I think this is still just another Aura's matchup, right? I think we want to run Dreamweaver from this. Random question. Oh, what do you use to edit the like video back, like the green screen? You mean? So that I just use a chroma key in OBS. Give them a good luck, have fun. Let's go ahead and grab everything. All right, we're practicing the Aurora game plan today, I guess. Soul Shield, and then Judgment. That's fine. All right. We can do Pierce plus Merciful on turn 1. That's really good. Oh yeah, thank you. Yeah, so what I did for Chrome, you need to make sure, so like here's maybe like a lighting setup kind of tip. Let's start by playing out the Merciful plus Pierce though, I think. Seems like a pretty good start. But so here's what we do for the green screen setup. So first we got like a $10 cloth on like Etsy or Amazon or whatever. Hate Amazon, by the way. Then we got a couple of these like lights. I don't know if you can see them, but like they're just like kind of crappy camera lights. These are mostly just to kind of like illuminate the green screen behind, because if the green screen is not like the same color, you'll sometimes see a couple of issues just with like you can kind of like maybe see it. There's like a little bit of like jitteriness kind of like in this bottom left corner. But yeah, like we just got like a green sheet online for like $15. Like you don't actually have to actually get something that says like green screen, as long as you find just like green cloth that you can like chroma key. Like as long as it's all like a consistent color, it really doesn't matter. And then so yeah, we have one light that doesn't have like this thing on it, and we also have this other light which I can kind of show you. So we have 2 lights, like one from each angle, and the other light has this like kind of screen on it. So let me, they can undo the action, but we also have this like kind of screen to make the light a little bit more like ambient as opposed to like harsh. So like this is like a little bit kind of harsher right now. But if I put this back, let me show, let's see if I can do that real quick. Put this back, it's like a little bit softer. So it like looks a little bit better. I think it's also trying to chroma key out my shirt right now, which is also quite funny. Yeah, but that's basically the Flesh and Bad lighting secret is to lighting setup is now completely ruined. Give me 1 second. But yeah, that's our current lighting setup. It's also held together by like a bunch of stands that don't necessarily fit like we don't have like specialty stands made. We're currently using, I think, like a carabiner to strap the light panel onto it. All right, let's focus on the game. But yeah, that's basically our lighting setup. So I think this is just going to be a double Herald turn. I think we can probably ignore the Genesis, maybe. We'll see what happens. So I think we start by doing the Ravages here, maybe. Interesting. There's also, I guess, merit to just like slamming Genesis. We could have slammed Genesis into their turn if we wanted to. I don't think that would have necessarily been bad. The problem is they like do have just like so many poppers. Maybe this is just like we probably should have just slammed the Genesis into their turn. I guess it's still maybe correct to play it out here. Yeah, but I think so. Genesis there would have been a little bit better. A little distracted by the camera setup, but I get excited talking about it, even though it's kind of a little bit piecemeal. At least we're now forcing them to deal with like Pierce or Genesis. We do have our Dreamweavers if we want to try to force this erudition with 2 Wraths. I think that's also quite reasonable. I do have another Belting though. Spooky. I imagine they're probably just going to clear the Genesis here. So yeah, we should technically, I think, be +1 Soul plus a random card. Like maybe had the Wrath in the arsenal as opposed to the erudition. Alright, they're clearing the Genesis, which I think is the correct choice here. I think we'll try to take the opportunity to just try to force through this erudition for 10. I think that seems pretty reasonable. Or it's actually more than 10, right? It'll be for 12. I'd say that's pretty good. So yeah, we'll go ahead and force it through. I mean, I imagine they're not going to give their full like armor. Even if they give full armor, they give 8 here, and then they give like 3 block from hand, and then we can double pump and still get over. So I think this is like almost guaranteed to hit, right? I guess maybe they have like a block card. Maybe that could get around it, but yeah. So for back to like the chroma key, if you I think if you set up a video capture device in OBS, and then there's like if you like right click on the video capture device, you can show like the filters on it. I think you can just like search for like the filter of like chroma key or whatever, and then that's what you use. But you have to kind of like mess with it to find like the right color of green and everything. So I think we're just double forcing this, right? All right, hitting a golden sun, obviously a little bit spooky, but that's fine. Yeah, the Storm Starter's play was unfortunate, I think. But I don't necessarily blame them. Like, yeah, if they targeted the erudition, they would have definitely been a bit better off there. All right, so we force through this. I guess we'll just get our. I don't think we actually need to get the erudition online just right away, right? We drew the rebirth, which is unfortunate. So we want to get instead. Maybe we do just want to get erudition just on the field, even if we're wasting the ponder token. I think that's kind of reasonable. And I guess we'll just follow up with the triumph and then Arsenal War Tune or whatever we draw. It's better. I think they probably just like messed up with the Storm Striders, or maybe they didn't know. I think that's like pretty reasonable. I also like do not play a lot of the Verdant's Prism matchup, so it's kind of fun to play a little bit of that. Like it seems like the Verdances have figured out that matchup pretty well, actually. Like, it does not seem like it was free, at least into the Verdances that we were playing into. Like, the popper density seemed quite high. Okay, so they're gonna pop here, that's fine. Not pay. Yeah, the Verdants and I feel like the Victor matchup have both seemed pretty tough. I feel like the Victors and the Verdances are both kind of like, I feel like Victor just does benefit from having like a lot of popper density. Like that's I feel like his main advantage in this matchup is just like you can kind of pop everything if you want to. But for Verdance, like Verdance also just has like a decent popper density as well, and they also just block super well. I don't know. Prism is just like a very weird deck to me. I feel like this deck is like a lot worse than it like seems on paper, you know. Oh yeah, you're a half hour behind. I figured you're a little bit behind. That totally makes sense. Yeah, the Storm Strider's play was a little bit rough. A little bit of a scuffed Prism stream today. I think Talishar went out. We punted a bunch. Opponent punted a bunch. Lots of punts all around today. That's fine. Talishar is a learning platform. Yeah, the library seems very important in that matchup. Like, does not seem free either from the Prism or from the Verdant side. So this hand's kind of interesting. I mean, I almost assuredly they're gonna like go for like a pop here or like a block with something. But part of me almost wants to just like take a bunch of damage to set up an Arclight and like arsenal the other Arclight or something. Could also pitch one Arclight and then just still sit on this one. Like, part of me almost wants to get like super greedy and just like slam the other Arclight here. Or maybe we should have done that this turn instead, actually. Maybe that was actually better than playing out the Herald here. Sorry, I think I got a little distracted by chat. I think actually that, or no, we'd have to pitch everything, right? We these don't count as blues yet, right? So I guess this still kind of makes sense. Maybe we're still gonna sit on the Arclight. I think if we had a double hand here, we're like absolutely just slam Arclight, arsenal the other Arclight, but I think this still seems fine. Yeah, for some reason, sorry, I thought we put a card in Soul this turn, but we did not. But yeah, the Verdant's Prism matchup seems very interesting. Like, I know it was like the Verdant's Prism matchup, I think before or around the time like High Seas happened was like very, very bad for Verdant's. But Burn Bear, I feel like, has like Burn Bear and the way the deck's sort of slanted now, it seems like it's a lot better. That's at least my initial impression. Some prims, for sure, for sure. Yeah, this has been a little bit of scuffed Prism gameplay, but this is like a deck I'm like fringely considering for ProQuest season. I don't actually think this deck is like all that good, but maybe with the new card it gets a little bit better and like the Aura game plan gets better. Which I think you're running the Aura game plan into like a decent number of the more kind of like popular heroes. So I feel like if the Aura game plan gets better, maybe that's good. Although, like, I feel like an issue, at least that I'm seeing right now, is it feels like a lot of the from what I like gather, at least it feels like when we're running the Aura plan, it feels like a lot of the difficulty we're having is like getting the figments on the field, right? Like that seems to be kind of like a big issue. So like if we don't have figments on the field, then it gets like super awkward. What are we doing here? Interesting. So we obviously have Soul Shield as like an option just to soak up a bit of damage. But I kind of like just almost playing the Arclight or like Soul Shield, pitch the protection, and then Soul Shield goes to Soul, we play the Arclight end of turn, and then we just pass. We wouldn't have an Arsenal set up though, so that's the biggest issue with that. Yeah, it's still like good though, because I don't think we want to like sit on Soul Shield in Arsenal and then like just pitch 3 to ALS. I feel like that's less efficient. So I feel like we want to build up Soul here, and then we also want to play out the Arclight. I think that's the play we want. But I think the new card will definitely help quite a bit. I'm just kind of curious if the new card, like, it seems like the issue is like getting the figments on the field more than anything. Where did Soraya go? I don't think we had a Soraya this game, did we? I don't think we've gotten any figments. Oh, wait. No, you're totally right. Did we hit with one figment this game? Yeah, wait, where did that go? Did we, like, undo at some point? Alright, this... Wait, yeah, I think you're totally right. Where did the Soraya go? I feel like that was this game, right? Oh, also we... hold on, sorry. Oh no, we passed too quickly, didn't we? Yeah, where did... Okay, hold on. Where did Soraya go? I guess we maybe undid and just, like, never did anything about it. Hold on. Sorry, let me revert to start of the previous turn and see if they want to do that. That's fine. I'm gonna do the same exact thing. Yeah, I think I passed too quickly there to Arclight. Alright, do the same thing. Sorry. My bad. Yeah, I might have accidentally passed the Prism trigger there. That's unfortunate. Yeah, someone maybe go back in the stream and tell me. It might just be me not understanding the Talshar typings. Yeah, I hit with Figment of Erudition. So I did get the Figment of Erudition. Did I really? Or did I like undo at some point? I feel like Victor could probably get away without AB. Like the only sources of AB are like Merciful and stuff. Yeah, I never flipped it. Interesting. Oh, you think it's like actually a bug? Whoopsie. Weird. Okay. Yeah, if you're telling me that we actually did get the Erudition there. Wait, it's not. Okay, I was making sure like we didn't have like the arrows on the screen, like it wasn't like covering that or something. Weird. Yeah, sorry, that maybe yeah, that's maybe my bad or maybe a little issue there. Were you on my YouTube stream? Yeah, let me go see actually. We'll do it after this game and see if we can find out exactly where the Erudition went. Alright, playing out some more mites there. Alright, double gold mainstate's a bit rough. This hand's like bad, kind of. I mean, I think we're just getting double pop this turn, almost surely. Yeah, let me pull up the YouTube stream actually. Give me my channel. Alright, let's go here. Alright, where did it go? Where was it? Alright, hold on. Not sure where we got it. Oh, it did disappear. Fascinating. Yeah, maybe Talishar devs are conspiring against me. Wouldn't be the first time. Yeah, that's super weird. It's true, they do have to nerf me. Wow, we don't. Wait, it's not even in the deck. Wait, what? Okay, hold on. Hold the fuck on. You're telling me it's also not in the deck? And it's not. Wait, where did this go? Wait, that's hilarious. Wait, what? Oh my god, that's kind of hilarious. Okay, well, oh, it's back. Wait, what? Wait, are you guys seeing? Wait, am I like having a fever dream? What? Oh, Talishar, I love you. I love you so much. Okay. So, I think we're still like losing. I think we're still losing this game, but this is also kind of hilarious, right? Okay. I mean, like we're like almost 100% dead here, right? I mean, we can like just Probably just scoop this one up, right? That is hilarious. Alright, well, we're fighting the bugs in Talishar in real time. That's what the stream's all about. I think we're like almost certainly dead, like just dead here. And we also should have like a Herald protection. But ignoring that, okay, now I need to like see if we can actually flip this Figment, if it will turn into a protection. See what happens. So Light Trigger. I'm not trying to win this game at this point. I guess sure we'll put Genesis. So why not? All right. So this is the only Figment on the field. So it didn't give us the option to flip the protection. Fascinating. Wild. And it works. Like the Soraya works. All right. Technical difficulties? Wait, we didn't draw cards. Wait, what? Wait, hold the fuck on. We didn't draw cards on this? Wait, sorry. Sorry, what? Wait, I clicked draw cards, right? Oh, okay. No, sorry, the Cranium Crush. Okay, that makes sense. Yeah. I got you. Yeah, sorry, this is a cranial. Okay. Sorry, no. Yeah, it's the Cranial Crush. That's fine. Yeah, okay, that's me. That actually is coded correctly. Yes. Yeah. Okay, this is fine. This game's a wash. That's fine. But that was kind of hilarious. Okay, so the Cranial Crush, that was my fault. That was me not understanding. The protection Soraya thing, what was that? That was kind of crazy. Okay, let's see if we can get a game where like the deck actually works. Yeah, the Cranial Crush definitely makes sense. That one's on me. Yeah. Fascinating. So I guess what happened is that we got the yeah, Victor seems like a pretty terrible matchup anyways. So I guess like what happened? Like we got Soraya, then protection. Hold on, let me actually like pull up a separate tab on YouTube. I'm gonna like see if I can find exactly what happened there. But it seems like it ignored the Soraya, then the Soraya came back. Wild. Alright, Grave Bones. First or second? Probably first, right? This matchup chat you might need to help me out on. I don't know if it's actually beatdown or is this beatdown or Aurora's? Alright, well, I guess we'll never know. I still am kind of curious if like Gravy matchup is beatdown or Aurora. I think at least the last time I played it, I thought it was Aura's. Yeah, the stream's a little bit scuffed today, but that's fine. Oh, we got a free win, kind of. Cool. All right, this is a beatdown matchup. I know this one. Okay, let's do this. All right, give them a good luck, have fun. What else do we want? Probably just the Ally Gods, right? Or maybe just like bring in two. I don't think this is like that relevant, but it's just a yellow 3-block. Oh, it's at 11 minutes. Okay, okay, yeah, I'll try to look at that. Okay. Yeah, let me see if I can go back and find that. This matchup seems good for us. Or, I think this matchup historically has been quite good for us. So let's start the Rebirth, and I guess we can maybe force through with Wrath. Yeah, the new card definitely seems like it might help with the Victor matchup. I think that's cool. So, like, the only problem with the new card, at least from, like, so we play against Victors and we play against Furnaces, right? My concern with the new card is that we're not going to get, like, the problem we found, like, the last couple of games is, like, getting the Figments online. Now, to be fair, Talishar ate one of our Figments, but that's, like, you sometimes have to play around that. That's kind of our bad. But, like, I think in general, like, it seems like you can kind of struggle to at least get the Figments on the battlefield if they're running a lot of poppers and they have, like, a lot of armor. So that's a little bit of my concern. But I think this is a good start for us. Right, no yellows though. It's a little bit unfortunate. Okay, how do we want to deal with the no yellow problem? I guess we can just like mono red herald or like send blue triumph arsenal red triumph or something. So yeah, like the new card's really interesting. I think my question about it, like maybe we can run like some interesting cards like soul food or something. Like I don't know if like that's reasonable. Always grab worst case, always grab a figment with hail. That's true, but like I feel like getting the figments is at least the struggle with some of those matchups. Uh, yeah, that's true. I think that hail illumination will definitely help. I don't think we're paying for this. That's fine. Yeah, I think merciful is also quite important. I think we didn't really see a lot of our mercifuls kind of line up that game though. Maybe just a little bit of unfortunate variance on our side though. So this hand's kind of weird. So what did they do? They topped one, bottom three. Interesting. They don't have any action points here, so we could theoretically flip a war if we wanted to. And just like swing Halo, try to dig for yellow. I guess we can also just do that on our turn, right? So we kind of need to find a yellow here to like even make this hand work in the first place. That's kind of rough. Merciful is also yeah. Okay, so let's. This feels like such an awkward Halo, but I feel like we almost have to do this just to like fix this hand. Start by bottoming the pass or getting rid of the passing. We actually hold on, sorry. I think we have to flip first because we need to make sure we're not having any floating after the Halo because then we can't swing. So I think this is the play. We flip the war first, then we Halo, and then we go from there. Split the triumph into soul. We find the yellow. Okay. So that's good. Now we can grab the erudition so we keep an arsenal. So this is a little bit of awkward sequencing, but I think it makes sense just so that we have a somewhat playable turn. So we'll start with the triumph here. Oh, is that Halo of Lumina Light card playable? Wait, hold on. Lumina. Halo of Lumina Light. Oh, I thought this was like an LL only card, but yeah, if you can actually play this main deck too, you can put a yellow aura from your banish zone into the arena. Oh, well, problem with how do you destroy this card? I guess is my question. Does this card actually help in that matchup? Or maybe there's something I'm missing. I guess you can also destroy it yourself with your own arcane damage, right? I guess that's pretty interesting. Because I think Spell Void works like that, right? Yeah, because it's also I heard about it being in gem pack, so yeah, that makes sense, right? Yeah, you get merciful things or averages. Okay, that does track with me. Okay, so let's grab protection here, I guess. Yeah, but that makes sense. That seems like actually a pretty decent sideboard card. That's pretty cool. We'll not banish from Soul here. I think we're gonna just try to end on a Herald of Triumph. I'm kind of debating whether I even like just flip another Figment just to get a bit of value. Or did we already flip this turn? Once per turn instant. So I think this is still active, right? Or no, I guess we can't flip because we don't have the or we don't we're running are we running vested? Oh, we should be on Rapture in this matchup. That's my bad. Sorry, I think I got confused and didn't sideboard that. Oh yeah, the potato sleeves are quite nice. I think our sleeves are a little bit better, but you too can get these sleeves if you want to join our Patreon. Yeah, our board state's quite nice here, I'd say. We should not be on Vestige though. We should be on Rapture. That's just I think I just like completely missed that. This is me getting the Talishar reps in. That's fine though. Like almost 100% we should be on on Rapture. Yeah, Zen Wilson is very S tier sleeves. The board state's good, and like we're gonna have a good erudition turn next turn, but I'm kind of worried about just like dying to their 5-card hand. We'll see. They don't have any Sigils of Brilliance though. Right, they do have the Gone and the Flash though, so this is gonna be a pretty big turn. Alright, so I think we're just letting the Bologna eat this. I think that's fine. I guess there's also like maybe some merit to playing at the footstep. Like Acilia doesn't really close the chain all that often though. Like so like the footsteps are not really gonna ever get more than like the 1 value. Alright, could be getting old knockered here. Or maybe they're just gonna take a kind of just a light on a flash turn. Yeah, the no equipment blocks definitely can't complain about that. We do have to be a bit careful. Like, I almost kind of want to pitch a blue on our turn here, just so they can, like, flip a Figment so that we're holding up a Figment flip during their turn. We'll see what their turn ends up like, though. Like, I'm kind of tempted to just Footsteps here, and then, like, flip a Angel into their turn because we have the Soul Buffer, and then go into the turn with a Figment flip so they can, like, safely do the erudition, not have to worry about, like, a big ping. So we'll do the Flittering. Okay, it's Flittering Charge. They have Gone and Flash in hand, and they have 2 unknown cards. Yeah, the equipment block, the no equipment blocks are interesting. Maybe they just didn't have very many instants for the Gone and a Flash. What they could be trying to end on here is maybe like, I'm curious what this other card is in hand. Oh, maybe they're just gonna send in etchings without the pump, where they're gonna pump. I guess they don't have. I guess they have Sigil Lightning in the bin. I feel like there's a better play here from the Asilio end. Like maybe pitch the Flittering to the Volzar, because now they're getting rid of the Gone and the Flash, right? Yeah, this is a very strange play. I guess it kind of works out, but the problem is they're like pitching the Gone and the Flash, which seems pretty bad. Yeah, very weird. All right. Okay, let's start off. So, oh, we didn't flip it in a turn. Ah, shit, that's my bad. Yeah, let's actually try to undo that. Sorry. May go to the end of their turn. All right, let's take the etchings and then we'll flip end of turn. So, let's pay 1 with the protection here. I think we're supposed to try to flip here. So now we flip end of turn. Let's turn the protection. I guess we can also turn the erudition on. Turning the erudition on is probably fine, right? I mean, it probably works out same way. We know they have a Sigil Lightning they're sitting on. So I think this is good. Sorry, getting distracted by chat. Let's start with the erudition, and we can always flip in response if we need to. They might try to pressure the erudition, I'm assuming maybe with an arcane spell, but most of the time I feel like we're going to be able to block that with a ward. We also still have AB if we need to as well. Feels like that maybe is what they're holding priority for. All right, we're going for the null shock. All right, so this is fine so far. We're only pumping 1. I guess they do have the Sigil. So they play out the Sigil. This is now pumping for... how much are we pumping for? We're pumping for +2. Or no, we're pumping for +3. So this is 4 total. So they need 1 more. but they still need to... Hold on. They still need to Volzar so we can pass priority one more time, and if they don't do this, then we just AB. So they Volzar now. Now we flip in response. I guess actually we probably want the protection and maybe just flip the Ravages instead. So I think this still works. They're only pumping 4 here, so they need one more thing. Or one more amp. Oh, it's a targeted. Oh, shit. Okay, that's my bad. Oh, this is targeted. Okay, yeah, that's fun on my part. So the better play there was to almost certainly just War Tune. I forget which ones are targeted, not targeted. That's my bad. We need to play more into the Wizards. I feel like I'm still kind of okay with this, even though this is obviously terrible for me. But yeah, almost as early. The better play there was to War Tune first, then we start doing our Angel stuff. That's on me. That is me forgetting that I guess the shock side of these targeted. Like, I have not played this deck in like a very, very long time. You can definitely see the rust, I think. But they only have like a 2-card hand here. We're still like kind of in an okay spot. Like, this matchup is apparently quite bad on the Acilio end. So maybe we can even punt our way to victory here. Entirely possible. Alright, so I think... Do we want to protect the Sikem here? Let's attempt to protect the Sikem. I think it makes sense to try to keep the ward alive. That was on me, though. That was me forgetting the shock is the way it is. I think there's definitely some play patterns I'm just like not used to. Alright, so we do at least block the etchings here, so I think this play was at least correct. So we'll pay 0, let the Sikem die, and then we'll just double Herald on our turn. Almost assuredly, I've like horribly punted this game in multiple places. Oh, seems like they maybe had something to do in response there. Yeah, the word on the spell makes sense. So like they're drawing up this Sigil of Brilliance though, so like they could have just been hoping. Like a lot of like Acilio players will just like try to hope to draw into a spell because they don't think they're gonna get like Aether Binding's value over the course of the game or whatever. But I think it still makes sense there to like put them on a spell, especially since they're like sending Fry, which is like pretty bad in terms of rate. This has got to be like one of the worst Prism streams of all time. I apologize to you. I apologize to you all. We've had Talishar outage, Talishar bugs, punts, conceding from 40 life, and then me also just like sideboarding wrong multiple times. So I'd say the stream is going pretty well today. That's fine. Let's grab Triumph here. So this is enough for... But the problem is, like, we can flip, but since we brought in the stupid Vestige, we can't, like... Or no, we can't even use Vestige, right? I guess we can, like, flip just to save life if we wanted to. Yeah, this is scuffed. Yeah, Rust can definitely turn any matchup. I definitely agree with that. I think we're gonna flip end a turn here just to stay alive. Like, I don't think they can kill us on a 4-card hand, but like, I feel like there are some 4-card hands they could draw that could probably get most of the way there. Aurora rolls the worst Prism stream, asked to leave the library, Solana. Hilarious. Yeah, I think I definitely flip Triumph here just to like stay alive, I think. Because we're sitting on 2 soul. We're getting a 3rd soul here. I think it's probably worth it just for life purposes. I guess we'll put a War Tune on top. That seems like a decent draw. So let's flip the... I feel like we're actually flipping... I mean, Rebirth, I guess, has, like, marginal value. I feel like both of these are pretty much the same at this point in the game. Alright, so Talishar was out to get me for 2 of the games. The other 2 are my fault, though. Or my opponent's fault. So a little scuffed here, but I think that's fine. Okay. Decent hand. I think this hand could get there. We just need to let the Triumph die. Hopefully they don't have a good Ghana flash turn, and then maybe we're okay. Okay, this is fine. So can they deal 14? I guess if they have like a hand of like 3 instants, like maybe electrostatic discharge that also gets there. Depends how good this hand is. I at least hope this has been entertaining watching this like scuffed series of events that we've been playing. Yeah, if it's just 12 physical, we can definitely deal with that. All right, old knocker. We're getting knocked. Let's see. So, lightning press is fine. That's a good one. So that's basically just 0 for 4. What we don't want to see is discharge. I think discharge would be worst case scenario for us. One benefit is we can always like flip here because we're still sitting on the Soul. And then we can just do like a double War Tune turn, and maybe that gets there. Yeah, we definitely need a little prey emoji. Oh boy, this game is so hard. Oh, did they wait, what happened? Instance cards you play this kid. Oh, did they bounce at the wrong time? Let me invite them, Chad. If you want to undo wheel. Yeah. Yeah, go for it. I think they might have bounced before the Gogan happened. It's been a while since I've also done my cellular reps, but I think if you instant cards, no, I think they still can. Wait, why didn't they get the action point there? Oh boy, what's happening up here? Backhand warning. Oh boy. Should we refresh? It seems like we have some core logic issues. Hilarious. Alright, I think I got it. This I don't know what's happening. Sorry, they blinked. Okay, that's fine. Okay. Alright, the stream gets better and better. This is fine. I also love back-end warning. Back-end warning is my favorite. I hope we're not dead here because I've been just like incredibly distracted by the stuff that's going on in the stream. That's hilarious. Oh boy. Yeah, I think this has been a really good first Prism stream. I guess, no, we haven't done a Prism stream, I don't think, have we? Let me check. I think this is the first one. I'm simply too powerful for a Talishar. Oh, did it, do I need a refresh? Oh no. Oh no. I think, oh no, it's not even gonna let us win a game, is it? Oh, I'm losing my mind. Okay. No, this has been a good stream, I think. Yep, I see, hold on. Actually, I'm not sure if it is down. I think you're right. I think we did crash. Hold on. Let's open Talishar in a window and see. How bad is this? Oh no. Yeah, I think it's Jover. Well, we almost won a game today, so that's nice. Oh my god. This is hilarious. Oh, we got some network errors. Okay. That's promising. Okay, well, I think we're probably gonna end the stream there, I guess. What do you think, chat? Should we end the stream on that? I think that's a good note to end the stream on. Oh god. I'm just like losing my mind. That's so hilarious. Hold on. I need to like actually hold on. So like this is like not Talishar Dev's fault or whatever. Like this is just so hilarious and fine. Oh, we're back. Oh, okay. I was speaking too soon, I guess. Uh Oh, you have the shock. Wait, hold on. How much are they amping for? Oh, they're amping for. They're amping 5. Uh. Yeah, 1. I think my opponent might have also left. Hmm. All right, chat. Are we saying this is an honorary victory? I think that's what we're saying. Yeah. So I think we won that one. Let's go ahead and give them the W in the Talishar results or whatever. So yeah, that was Prism gameplay. Yeah, if you ever had any questions on how to play Prism, I think we really demonstrated how this deck works today. And they shock me next turn. We could have actually, I guess, seen what they hold on. Let's see what they draw into. So they draw into. Oh, they don't have a shock next turn, so we technically win that, I think. They CLV sigil. Yeah, this hand doesn't work, right? All right, so I'm counting this as technically a win. I eat the damage, flip prod at the end of the turn. So yeah, I think we win. Okay, we win this one. We win this one. We won against Cecilio, which is one of like Prism's like one of the best matchups, arguably. Like I think this matchup's like abysmal from the Cecilio side, right? Yeah. So if you ever had any doubt that I knew how to play this deck, let those doubts be quelled today, because I think we piloted this expertly today. So we got our first W. We crashed Chalshar 2 or 3 times, debatably. We'll see. Maybe I'm just a little bit too strong for Talishar to handle at the moment. I think that's fine. But yeah, I think this list is really good. So this is from Battlehard Copenhagen, and this is from Elaine Cao. Yeah, I think this list she's put together is really cool. I wish I got to play more of it, but that's fine. Yeah, I think it's just these, like, if they see their what do you call it? If they see their like Gone on Flash early and they're able to like combo off with a couple Sigil Brilliance, I think it can be a bit flippy. But I feel like historically it's been a pretty good matchup, right? But yeah, this deck list seems good. I'm curious to see how the new card is gonna like influence it. So that new card is, where is that? I think it's all the way at the bottom here. So new card, Angelic Attendant. I think that card's gonna be pretty cool. I think this might honestly change the way Prism is built. Like, I'm almost wondering if we start like bringing in stuff like Soul Food, to like just get a bunch of figments on the board and like slower matchups, and then you like try to draw towards this card to like flip, and then like that's the way you generate your soul. I'm kind of curious if that might honestly be a viable strategy, because that gets around a lot of like the popping, not popping stuff. So I'd be interested to see how like this changes the Prism deck list, because it might not just be like add this card in and call it a day. Like you might have to actually add this card in and then like add some additional support to kind of like make this card like really hum. So yeah, I think this card's really interesting. I think it probably will push, like, I think it will make the aura plan a little bit better. I guess the question is like how much better. But this card seems really good. I'm excited about it. But yeah, that was going to be the deck list for today. I think we also saw a lot of cool cards like Catch of the Day. I'm going to try this out on stream some point in the future. But yeah, I think that's going to be it for today. So this is probably going to be the most scuffed stream you've ever seen on this channel. That's fine. But yeah, we got to win. And, you know, that's all that matters at the end of the day. So yeah, thank you all for watching. You can also stare in your graveyard by blocking with it. Store it in your graveyard by blocking with it, and then get it on demand by bringing it with Figment. Oh, yeah. That's also a really cool interaction. So you can block with it, put it in your graveyard, rebuy back with the Rebirth, and then, like, do the combo on your turn. That's pretty sick. Yeah, that card's really cool. But yeah, thank you all for stopping by. Probably going to wrap it up in a second here, but I'll just take it out in case anyone has any comments about the state of Prism or Talishar or my gameplay. All of those are fine to comment on, I think. But yeah, thank you all for stopping by. We'll probably, I don't know when the next stream is going to be. We're probably going to do it maybe this weekend or like Monday or something. I have a couple of videos planned over the weekend, so we got some fun stuff coming up. But yeah, thank you all for stopping by, and we'll call it a day there. I think I think that was enough Prism game for a lifetime. I think so. Thank you all. All right, I think with that we'll go ahead and cut it off there. So thank you all again for watching and stopping by and stuff, and we'll see you all around.